One bright thing. It is a small thing, and I am surrounded by haystacks. But if I can find it, there is hope to find others. One bright thing after another to light the darkness. It is too easy to keep your head down watching your shoes. Very few bright things can be seen there. You have to look up to see them, and then you'll start seeing them underfoot too. Like one morning as I stood in a slow-moving line, I looked down and saw these tiny fingers, and before I knew it, little eyes were looking into mine as a small bright thing lay in its carrier by a mother's feet and took away my impatience. There are plenty of poison pills littering our path today, substantive reasons to be negative, leaving us feeling down and hopeless, which makes it all the more imperative to find ways to counter those feelings. One bright thing at a time. Little fulcrums we can use to move our own personal worlds toward the light.
Nice.
And that's what I want this reading to be for all of us. One bright thing in their week that you can think back on and enjoy. Maybe there's going to be more than one bright thing. It depends. A lot of bright things out here. I can see them. Okay, we're on the roll. Okay, the first thing I want to do is to introduce my brand new book, Visits from the Muse, and it's right here. Some of you already have copies of it. I have wanted to have a new book at the reading since this is the third reading I've done, and the only reading that where I have a new book to feature. But I had this idea. It'd be nice to have a new book for the reading. And lo and behold, I was able to put it all together and get it done faster than the publisher thought I would be able to. So, which is good. But anyway, now it's here and it's for sale, and we'll have a little book signing afterwards for it. And you might be interested about the cover and the title, Visits from the Muse, and I wrote a little frontispiece, is what it's called. It's also a poem. I like using literary terms like frontispiece. So. Anyway, this is Visits from the Muse. I suspect the muse of planting seeds because it's a good metaphor for what happens. A germination in my brain growing into art. After planting an inspiration, she flies away and doesn't sit on my shoulder to dictate, for that's not her job. If I get writer's block, it's not my muse's fault. The ear is sometimes callous and cannot hear her whispers. But if I pay attention and nurture the little sprout, it can grow to maturity. These printed words are her fruit, for the pages would be bare without visits from the muse.
Yeah, nice. Very cute. I like the painting of you on the cover of the book too.
Yes, this is the only artwork I have ever done, and it's I asked the AI on my computer to give me a picture of an old man sitting at a desk writing with a quill being visited by the muse Erato. And this is what it came up with.
Wow.
And it was exactly what I wanted. So
Perfect, yeah.
I don't know. I must be really good at the AI. I don't know. Okay. We're jumping into it now. First poem I'm going to read is a poem about a guy that I knew in junior high, and Diane will have known him too, Richard Freeman. Do you remember Richard? Well, you weren't in band, were you?
You must not have been very cute.
He was a curious kid. He didn't fit in at all. His skin was always red. The rumors were he was a blue baby. which I don't know if that's true or not, but at any rate, he was probably autistic. I think that's what it's referred to now. He would have probably, at the time nobody knew, so, but now they do. So anyway, this is Richard. Richard stood by himself against the gym wall during junior high school gym class. Everybody else killing each other with volleyballs. He didn't care that this was a winning strategy when he was the last man standing. Richard was taller than average, his skin always reddened, almost purple. It was whispered that he'd been a blue baby. I knew him from band since we both played clarinet. He quietly sat there at the back. I don't think I ever heard him play to know if he was any good at it. One day in gym, I asked him to shoot basketballs. No one had ever seen him play anything before. But every time he'd shoot for the basket, this asshole Monty would knock it out of the way. The only fight I ever got in at school was for Richard. I knew he wasn't the same as the rest of us, and it wasn't right for him to be picked on, so I knocked the hell out of Monty for him. That one incident didn't make Richard my friend. He didn't have any friends at school. No one knew about Asperger's in those days. There was no explaining his behavior. I'm sure he wanted to be anywhere but school. One day I saw him riding his bike home, and I saw a Richard I'd never seen before, pedaling that thing for all he was worth, seeming to enjoy the wind in his face. Now I wish I'd have known him better. If only he'd wanted to let me into a world where freedom could only be found in privacy.
Good old Uncle Bill. How you doing, buddy?
Nephew Aaron, how are you?
Very good. Nice to see you.
This one's entitled, Remembering How to Forget. I've tried to forget for years, studying it this way and that. It has proved most elusive. On the contrary, it is easy to remember. I can do it without even trying. The brain does it automatically, I guess. But forgetting is hard. People say that time will help to do it, and sometimes it does, insufficiently. I could forget small things without a problem. The names of people I've known for years, for example. It is a random access memory known for lapses. Then there are those things I'd rather forget. Hit the delete button and never be troubled again, like wiping the board clean. Drugs provided temporary relief until morning. To realize I'd done fresh things I now had to try and forget, adding to all the ones waiting for their turn. It's all been a waste of time so far. I could forget what's not so important and can't forget what is. Sometimes I forget to remember what I said, a thing I didn't even have to try and do. And that's the key, I think, I need in my forgetting, the secret way. If I could possess the ability to forget on demand, then the only purpose my memory would have to serve would be remembering how to forget. Thank you. This is called Time Traveled Explored. It's a science fiction kind of thing, too. You never know what you're going to get here. Time travel is a paradoxical notion. Everybody is keen on going back to the past, while claiming the future can't be visited. But I think if one is possible to imagine, then why not the other? There are certain assumptions one must make to believe in time travel. The biggest one, to my mind, would be time itself. You have to assume that time exists anywhere else outside our collective imagination. The future is off limits because it hasn't happened yet, and there's a chance it may not happen at all. It falls under that old law of uncertainty. While conversely, we know the past must have happened. Grandma and her porch swing are real in those photos. I'm not sure people in the past would care to see us upstarts with all our modern ideas and criticisms of how clueless people used to be, although I would admit the wheel has proved quite the invention, and we'll probably see it in the future should there be one, which I guess we'll find out or not, as the case may be. The truth is, we're in no shape to think about time travel, slow walking as we are in the present, and we're not advanced enough to invent it, even if it were possible. We haven't seen any people from the future coming around, so I'm pretty sure they haven't invented it yet either. Well, I'm not really that keen on time travel to the past. Let me start over. Well, I'm not really that keen on time travel to the past. I was already there once, and right now my stomach clock is telling me that the future is better and includes a nutritious lunch. It may be true that I don't believe in the existence of time, but even if I've had memorable lunches in the past, it's about time for one now if I hope to see any future. This one's called Connections. There have been times when I was able to see the Milky Way where the air was thin on top of mountains, and we're far enough out on its fringe to see the shape of it. And there I was, able to see my little place in the great scheme of things. A planet too small to even think of in constellation terms, out on the edge of a lesser galaxy among billions of other galaxies that make up our universe. You can't make a map of it. It's three-dimensional. So there's no way for us to know where we are in that great big flock of scattering clusters of stardust. And here I am on that planet, teeming with life and its subsequent gods, all claiming how unique we are, beating drums in the jungle and hoping they're noticed, evolved to the point that our worst tendencies are exhibited. There's a theory that the UFOs have been watching us, but are wary of making contact or sharing their alien technology. I'm sure it's true. And they're just waiting to see if we destroy our own planet before they even try to make connections. Sad but true.